I'm E.D. Lewis, and welcome back to my channel for another nocturnal review. Before we get started, please follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Wattpad, as well as BookBub and Goodreads. If you are interested in my book, The Curse of Ridge House, it is available on Amazon in both Kindle and paperback. The paperback has been updated, and all the the kinks have been fixed, as far as I know, anyway. The Kindle is $2.99. The paperback's a little bit more. And if you're interested in MM romance or MM erotica, I have a short story on Kindle for 99 cents called Alone with the Professor. So check that out. It's only available on Kindle. Please visit my author page, which is also on Amazon, and please visit and like the official Facebook page of my book, The Curse of Ridge House. So, for this review, I'm doing the 1959 gothic horror, gothic mystery, Psycho by Robert Bloch. This is a very interesting book. It's, like I said, gothic mystery, gothic horror. Did I say gothic romance? Because it's not that. That might have been just slip of the tongue. It's kind of inspired off of the real-life crimes of Ed Gein, so, check that out, if you're interested in Ed Gein, because it's a very interesting case. So the book is about a girl named Mary Crane who works for a firm in, I believe, Fort Worth, Texas. She is on the run because she has stolen $40,000. And she's trying to get to her boyfriend, who owns and runs now his family's old business, a hardware store, and it's very greatly in debt, so they can't get married until after the debt is paid. So Mary has been traveling for like 16 hours straight. She's very tired, and she ends up during a storm at the Bates Motel on the Old Highway, on her way to Fairvale, which is in California. So she meets the proprietor named Norman Bates, lives there all alone. He's in his 40s, kind of overweight, wears glasses, kind of odd, and a bit of a drinker. He seems nice enough, but things take an odd turn when they talk about his mother, who is rather ill and not herself. So Mary disappears. She meets kind of an unfortunate end, and I don't want to tell you much about that. And of course, you've seen the movie, you know what happens, but the details are different. Which the book and the movie, I'll talk about the movie in a little bit. The movie is great. Check the movie out if you haven't, but I'd say read the book first, because the book goes deeper into the characters and stuff, and into the psychology of it, and the characters do some different things, and the story is mostly the same, but there's different tensions and stuff, and you won't be surprised by the ending that way. Or, you'll be surprised by the ending, but it won't ruin it for you for the book, which is handled in a slightly different way. So, the firm she works for sends a detective named Arbogast to search for her, about the same time her sister, Lila, goes to see Sam, Mary's fiance, and find out where she is. The detective, of course, ends up the same place, and they try to figure out where she is from there. And of course, all roads lead to the Bates Motel. I don't want to ruin the book for you, so that's kind of that. A brief talking about the book. There is, however, the movie and its remake, Psycho, which is from 1960 and 1998. Now this movie is like almost a shot-for-shot remake of this movie, but it was not overly well received. It was kind of an experiment. I think it's enjoyable and it's interesting, but it's not the greatest movie in the world. But since it was an experiment to, look at, film in a, remakes compared to original films, and talking about how, you can't remake a film shot for shot, and it had the same effects, of course, behind it, and in a different period than the original film was made. It's an interesting study, But it does have some different things, and it's kind of arty, so it's interesting to look at. You may enjoy it. I think it's enjoyable, but it's nowhere near as good as the original. So it's an okay film, but interesting. Now, talking about this film, of course, this is the classic Alfred Hitchcock movie. This is actually an old rental from Blockbuster. And I hope I'm not getting too much glare. Maybe if I turn it this way? I have no idea. Well, anyway, so it stars Anthony Perkins in, his, most famous role, as well as Janet Leigh and Vera Miles. Anthony Perkins plays, of course, Norman Bates, who is portrayed as a young, nervous man who, has a sense to eat candy, and, the famous line, a boy's best friend is his mother. The book and the movie are fairly close with each other. It does things a little differently, has different tensions in it, especially when Mary is, on the run. She ends up getting stopped by a policeman, and when she trades out her car, the used car dealer is kind of suspicious. That stuff's not in the book. She does change out her car several times in the book, however, but only once in the movie. And I like the tension there. I like what they did with the movie. I like the book too, but I like what they did with the movie. They're both great. It's just that they have different... you should check them out. If you've already watched the movie or seen it, which I'm sure you probably have, many people have, you still should check out the book. You'll be just less surprised about the ending. There are some interesting little shocks in the book, because I've even been surprised about a couple things that happened and getting inside some of the characters' heads. But there's great performances in this movie. It is a pretty good adaptation. It's, of course, different. Norman is portrayed differently. Sam has actually seen Mary more recently in the movie than he has in the book. And he's actually married. I don't think he's married in the book. He's actually, I think he's divorced and paying alimony. That's what it is. So he's actually divorced. I don't think he was married in the book at all. And so that's the difference there, keeping them from getting married someday. And also, it starts out in Phoenix, which the book takes place from Norman's point of view at the start, and then it jumps to Mary. And Mary's, of course, is from Fort Worth, whereas in the movie it starts out from her point of view, and before she steals the money, and it takes place in Phoenix, Arizona, instead. All in all, it's a great movie. Absolutely fantastic. The sequels are not as good. Number 4 might be the best sequel, but number 2 and 3 have their merits. They're more slasher-y, though, but they do have their merits. An interesting little twist and storyline in both films. So, I would check that out, and check out even, this one. Now, I just finished the book Psycho today, and it was on my reading list, and so I just thought, I'm going to go ahead and do that since it's fresh in my mind. So I was like, I'm going to do a video on that instead of on anything else. So that's pretty much it. I want to make this video as short as possible, so, short and sweet. So, without any more further ado, please check out my other videos, and please check out my future videos. I am planning on doing part 2 of the Phantom of the Opera series very soon. So, stay safe, Black Lives Matter, and be kind and considerate to everybody, and, keep on keeping on the best way you can. So, bye-bye.